Hey, welcome to my channel. Casey here. You know what probably kept me in unconsciousness the longest, like not being aware, would be I didn't take care of my mind. And so that's what I'm talking about today. It's how we find greater consciousness, more awareness, more clarity, less noise and clutter and spinning thoughts going on up here, and be able to be grounded and centered and able to respond to life. So I'm going to share with you a few things that have been very beneficial to my progress along this path. So a little bit about the mind. When we train our mind to be calm, when we work on making our mind calm through different practices and feeding it good things, um, it gets better at being calm. That's just how the mind works. Whatever we do repetitively, the mind adapts. It's called neuroplasticity. The opposite is also true. When we allow our minds to be overstimulated, multitasking, when we introduce noise and negativity to our mind, it gets better at being a scattered mind. It gets better at spinning thoughts without us interacting with it, and erasing thoughts, ruminating thoughts, and we just can't stop it anymore. It gets spun up like a machine. It is a thought machine. That's what the mind does. It creates thoughts. And everything that we do in our world is created from the mind. All our actions, all our thoughts, all our emotions, any connections we have, anything we create, it's all in the mind. So it's like the number one thing that I need to take care of on a daily basis. And I hope that you do too. So here's some ways that we can help help with this mind care. I I've heard it called emotional diet. I've heard it called mental diet. We do diets for our body, right? And we eat nutritious things and we do exercise and stuff to take care of our bodies so we're strong and healthy. It's it's the same way with our mind. Let's take care of our minds. So number one is news and feeds. What does that mean? Well, first of all, news is all but completely worthless to our minds. We think we're staying informed, but it's really just introducing a lot of noise and scattered thoughts, and thoughts of worry, thoughts of loss, thoughts of negativity, thoughts of violence. And if that's how you want to train your mind, then go for it. Continue to watch the news and feed your brain that kind of stuff. It's really of no benefit. I quit news watching probably 6 years ago. Haven't missed it one bit. I don't really like when people even tell me what the news is about. If I still get news somehow. Even though don't watch TV, I don't subscribe to anything, I still get news somehow. Interesting. But it's not something that we need. The other thing is feeds. So this is your social media feeds, Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, TikTok, the scrolling. It doesn't have a benefit to your brain either, to your mind. And it's an easy way to escape life and go unconscious and cope with life in that way. But it doesn't really provide any value to our mind. So uninstall the apps off your phone. And if you need to check them, which is fine, go on the web to check them or log in through your phone in the browser and then log back out. If you feel it perpetuates itself, kind of like smoking cigarettes. You only fiend for another cigarette because you smoked the last cigarette. So when you stop smoking cigarettes, you stop fiending for cigarettes. Michael Singer always says, like, if you want to quit smoking, just stop putting cigarettes in your mouth. If you want to mind to be calm and at ease, stop feeding it things that are not calm and at ease. So start with little baby steps with the phone to leave it in your room in the morning and go about your business and do your self-care and your breakfast without it. Maybe go for a walk, leave it at home. If that's terrifying, then take note of that. Why is that terrifying to leave my phone at home? You might think of a few excuses, but just let it go. The more you disconnect from the phone, the more peace and calm you will find. I guarantee it. Uh, it might take some adjustment, but if you're as old as me, you might remember being carefree and worry free without a phone tethered to you 24/7. So you might find that peace. And if you're always grew up with your phone, just try to take a few steps away from it. Disconnect just a little bit at a time, and then maybe you'll go on a hike without it or go to the grocery store without it. And you'll see that we don't need to be dependent on these devices, and we don't need to be connected to people and find answers on the internet to every little thing that we do all the time. All right, enough about that. The number two thing to do would be to evaluate your company that you're hanging out with. Who are you hanging out with on a regular basis? Who are you having conversations with? Are these conversations of high vibration? Are they about love and compassion and peace and empathy and growth and what you're working on, or are they not that? Are they talking about other people? Are they reviewing the world's problems and trying to solve them? That is just it's not beneficial to the mind either. It seems like it would be beneficial because we know why Florida is passing these laws or something, but I don't live in Florida, and those laws don't affect me. And there's tons of people in the world that care about those things, and that's their passion and purpose in life, and that is not mine. My passion and purpose is to be calm and at ease and be able to respond to life in a stable manner. So if that's your goal as well, just tune out to those things. And those people that spew negativity around you, or they're gossiping or just talking about nonsense for long periods of time. Just evaluate the process, or sorry, evaluate the relationship, and maybe it's not the healthiest interaction to be around on a regular basis. I know I'm in the recovery community, and you might be in other communities as well. And there's people with 2, 5, 10, 20, 30 years that are still getting well, and just because they're part of the community that you are doesn't mean you have to entertain their illness. um, you can be the change you want to see in them, and that's the key. We don't need to judge other people, but we can protect ourselves, and it's okay to take care of ourselves every minute. It's okay to take care of yourself. If there's a conversation's heading in the wrong direction, just say, "Oh, I forgot. I need to go somewhere. I need to leave. Yeah, I'll talk to you later." We can love people from afar. It's fine. And then the next thing is media. So this is related to music and movies and shows that you're watching. I mean, I am no saint, and I used media so hard for a long time. Watched every show on Netflix, everything that had a full season. I've played music 24 hours a day. I missed out on a lot of my children's life because of these things, and it I don't let it pain me anymore, but it did pain me for a while. Um, with regard to music, some people love music. They live for music. It's like their jam. It's what keeps them going. I understand that. I'm just saying about music. If it's songs of regret or sorrow, offense, ill will, violence, any of those lower vibrations, you're training your mind to be like that, because our mind wants to identify with whatever we're exposing it to. That's why they say you are the people that you hang out with. You know, the the closest five people that you hang out with. You are what you eat. You are what you consume with the mind. You know, whatever you allow in and identify with. Oh, this song is about, you know, they had a relationship and they lost the relationship, and you know that now they're trying to find themselves. That's what you will identify with. I personally let go of music, but my story is different than other people's, and maybe and your story might be different as well. But I just cut off any lyric music years ago. I just couldn't even I couldn't digest it anymore. I want to create my own world. I want to have my own thoughts. I want to have my own ideas come up. And when I'm bombarded with music telling me how I should think, what is going on in the world, how I want to be, I can't be my authentic self. That's just me. And that is not for everybody, I know, and that might be counter society. I don't care, but let's just move on from music. So shows and movies, obviously, you know, I remember watching Dexter, which is a serial killer show, and it's kind of funny and but not and serious, but it was like 9 seasons. I remember like season two, three, four. I feel like I felt his pain. I felt like I had done something wrong because he was like hiding bodies and stuff. Anyways, that just shows you that your mind and your mental and emotional state is affected by these things greatly, especially when you watch them on repeat. You know, I watched that show on repeat for weeks. Every spare minute, I was just hooked on it, addicted to it. Really, these can be addictions. These can be escape mechanisms, just like drugs and alcohol. So just be mindful of what you're watching and what you're consuming. Yeah. So I want to have calm and clear mind, full of love and compassion and high vibrations. I want to experience joy and clarity in my life. I want to have purpose and connection. And modern stream media just does not fit into that equation. I do listen to targeted YouTube talks and you know, like ambient sounds and spiritual music that doesn't have words, just kind of melodies and vibrations and rhythms. I like jungle drumming or something like that to get my mind or get my uh, feel a connection with that and get some rhythm in my life. But beyond that, I'm good. Oh, and books as well. Books of deep wisdom and you know, the Bhagavad Gita or The Power of Now. Um, Tons of books that I have read, and I just reread the same books over and over. I don't feel like the need to like find a bunch of new information. It's really all about the principles of living, the laws of the universe, so I just stay in those same books and listen to them on audiobooks as well as read them in person. They make me feel good and they get my mind set off in the right direction. The final thing I'll talk about is meditation, because it's only through meditation and slowing my mind down and my thoughts that I am aware of how these other things affect me. And meditation has helped me connect with my body and feel, you know, how my heart feels around people, or when my heart closes, or when it opens. My solar plexus, you know, I'm aware of anxiety and worry in my solar plexus, and I can tune into that and just be like, what's going on? You know, what have you been thinking about? You know, what thoughts keep reoccurring? And also, meditation has allowed me to respond to the world in a different way. I was very reactive before. Thought comes out the mouth. You know, thought comes, action happens. And now I can pause. I can, especially like around animosity, anger, also with sorrow and you know, grief with other people. I don't have to take on those emotions, but I can definitely understand and empathize with them and provide them comfort. And when you can do that, you can help people heal. You can hold space for people. So that's a big difference at meditation. Now, meditation can be hard. It was super hard at first, but I needed peace in my mind. My mind was spinning a million miles an hour. I had smoke coming out of my ears, trying to figure out my life, trying to solve all my problems at once. I had a really, really tough time in 2021, 2020, as a lot of us did, and I needed to find a new way to live. And meditation has been crucial in that. And with meditation, there's sometimes it's very easy to meditate and I can drop in, after a couple minutes and I'm just deep into it and I kind of lose track of my body and my surroundings and I'm just very still and calm. And sometimes I can barely shut my eyes and I'm just like, I want to itch my leg, I want to move, I want to go do this, I want to go do that. And when you just observe through that, I'm telling you, if you just observe through that and you notice, yeah, my mind wants to move. My mind wants to itch something. My mind wants to call that person. My mind wants to switch the laundry. And you just keep bringing it back to your breath. And you keep bringing it back to your breath, your focus, your attention. You keep bringing it back to your breath. I guarantee the thoughts slow down and then stop. The thoughts slow down and then stop. And when you train your mind to do that and your body to do that, you can drop in easier and quicker. And it really becomes how you live. It really becomes a state of being. The gurus say that meditation is not something that you do, it's something that you are. You are meditative. That's why when some people interact with me and they're like, wow, you're really like just calm and steady and centered, I can tell. And I'm shocked by it, honestly, because that never was me. I'm Mr. Scattered, Mr. Doing everything, Mr. Always have a sarcastic remark to say, blah, blah, blah. Always talking, always going off on things. So, you know how you get really good at meditation? You start today and you be consistent with it, you know? It has to be a priority and it has to be the pull of the media and the toxic relationship interactions and the news and the streaming and the social stuff has the misery that comes from that, the unfulfillment, the dissatisfaction, the dis-ease, the unease that comes from that, the wanting of the peace and calm and quiet and stillness and being able to respond to life and the clarity has to outweigh that. You know, that's where it has to be. So if you want that on this side, if you want the peace and calm and clarity and being able to respond and slowing life down and being very satisfied with life and the little things, then start today. And in a couple of months, you'll notice a big difference. And in 6 months, you'll be a completely different person and you'll be able to respond to life in a different way. And you'll be able to show up for people like you maybe have never been able to show up before, especially to our family members. And once you wake up and you grow your consciousness, other people start to wake up and we can start spreading this in our communities. And that is the medicine that we all need. So I wish you well on your expansion of consciousness. I love you. Namaste.